Let's try this again. So, folks, there's this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. His name is Donald J. Trump. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, but apparently he was like Jeffrey Epstein's best friend for like 10 years. Jeffrey Epstein, the guy who definitely didn't kill himself and who is the most prolific pedophile in America. That guy. Yeah, there's audio of Jeffrey Epstein talking about how they were like best friends for 10 years. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. But he did a rally, and you know, I was going to cover the Madison Square Garden Trump speech, but chat told me that was rather unremarkable, so I figured we'd focus on how's Trump doing in the lead up to Election Day. We're currently 1 day away. It's literally tomorrow. Election Day is tomorrow. If you didn't know that, you should make sure you go vote, okay? Make sure you go vote. It's important. We need to avert fascism, people. And do you believe there's 100 hours of interview, though? I mean, more and more audio keeps coming out from it. And Sockster, apparently another episode of that podcast is dropping today. And Michael Wolff seems to have been alluding that there's going to be a big audio bombshell that drops today. We'll see. I would imagine that the biggest bombshell Michael Wolff has, he wants to drop immediately before the election to, you know, maximize media impact and sell more copies of his book because he cares about that more than, you know, making sure Jeffrey Epstein's best friend of 10 years doesn't get elected president. But, you know, we'll see. That being said, let's see how the Trumpster, which is apparently how he refers to himself in private, is doing.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, and I'll tell you, I love this state. I love Georgia. I love Georgia. And I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible place with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's what you are. You are hardworking. You're great.
He doesn't sound too good.
You are.
He sounds ragged.
We're bringing this country back fast. We're going to bring it back fast. I'd like to begin by asking you a very simple question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?
Literally everyone is better off now than they were 4 years ago. 4 years ago, we were under, four years ago was COVID.
With your vote on Tuesday, I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming into our country. And I will bring back the American dream. We're going to bring back the American dream. We're just 2 days away from what will be the most important political event in the history of our country. I believe that. But you have to do one little thing. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. The only thing I want is get out and vote. Just get
I'm pretty sure he wants their money, considering the Republican Party is completely broke.
Finish, you know, we're on the 5-yard line, maybe even the 1-yard line. We're right there. We had a tremendous number of early votes, a record-setting number.
Oh, I just wanted to say, as a black person my whole life, I feel that way about the term blacks. Every black person says blacks. I say that in chat the other day, and some white person started screaming. Yeah, it's because, and I can say this as an alabaster disaster myself, us white folk are kind of trained to be like, wait, that we can't say it like that. You know, like you know, like it's like there's like an instinctive like, oh God, We can't say that, right? Which is why I think a lot of white folk like default to like African American or something along those lines just to be safe. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is silly, but I do think that like for a lot of white people there's a hesitation to say it and they get weirded out when other white people say it. Less weirded out obviously when black folks say it, but like I think when people aren't entirely sure, like the internet can kind of create that like you can't say that even when someone can say that, you know? Internet communication.
Records like nobody can believe.
Well, yeah, Salmon was when someone starts talking about African American and they're in Australia, you know, and the person they're talking about isn't American, it gets a bit weird. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. But all I can say is on Tuesday, just go out and vote, and we're going to close this thing out, and it's going to be party time. It's going to be party time.
It's going to be party time, baby.
And this is really all you need to know. Kamala broke it, and I'll fix it, and we'll do it very quickly.
Yeah, Mr. Malachite, that's kind of what I tend to default to. Like, as a white person, I'm like, I'm gonna say black people, but I'm gonna avoid saying just blacks. I think that's weird. Feels weird.
America will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than ever before.
Man, what are you going to talk about for an hour and a half? I feel like he's already hit all the greatest hits of his usual stump speech.
Start from a very bad place. We're a nation in decline. We're a nation in decline like we've never seen a decline. What they've done to our beautiful country is just so horrible. And we have so many senators, so many congressmen and women, and we have so many great people in the audience, and they're working with me. We're going to bring this back like never before. Nobody's going to believe it. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to bring it back so fast. This election is a choice between whether we will have 4 more years.
Wait. May I point out all the women behind him have the same haircut? Oh, man. Oh, man, they do. They do. Also, can we just take a moment to really enjoy the fact that there are 2 people behind him that are wearing garbage for Trump vests? They're literally they're literally calling themselves garbage to own the libs. It's honestly insane. Like, if you called them shit people, they would dress up as turds. They'd rub feces all over themselves. It really is, like, this is owning the libs.
Of gross incompetence and failure, or whether we will begin the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. This will be the golden age of America.
The golden shower age of America.
Beautiful, isn't that a beautiful term? Think of that, the golden age. This will be the golden age of America. Think of that, how beautiful that sounds, and it's true. Remember, we have more liquid gold under our feet.
Please stop using the term liquid gold when one of the biggest rumors about you is that there's a P tape circulating around.
Than Saudi Arabia, than Russia, than anybody.
God damn, dude.
And I told a great guy, RFK Jr., Bobby, I said, Bobby.
Oh, God.
You work on women's health.
Yes, Laura Loomer did, in fact, eat dog food on air. We watched it happen.
Work on health.
Hey, trans girl Jade.
What we eat.
How am I still awake? This thing and spite.
You work on pesticides, you work on everything. The one thing you have to let me do, Bobby, I gotta work the liquid gold.
This is the rally where people started walking out after 15 minutes, right? You'll have to be more specific. That happens in every single one of his rallies lately.
You're not gonna touch that. We don't want too much advice. We don't want too much advice, Marco, on the liquid gold. We're gonna pay off our debt. We're gonna do things that you wouldn't believe, and we're going to give you, I gave you the biggest tax.
That's right, we're going to be showered in liquid gold to pay off our debt. You know, as a former sex worker, briefly, I also know a few people who did that.
Cut in the history of our country. You'll get still more. We're going to make our country so competitive.
He means oil, KO. He means oil. He's not literally talking about, he's not talking about urine. He's talking about oil, but it does sound an awful lot like he's talking about urine.
On Tuesday, you have to stand up and tell Kamala or Kamala or Harris.
Ah, good. Good old-fashioned racism.
Harris, nobody knows who the hell I'm talking about. I said, Harris was out tonight. Who's Harris, sir? Nobody knows who she is. But on Tuesday, you have to stand up and tell Harris that you've had enough. You can't take it anymore. You're the worst vice president in the history of our country. It's the worst.
Wait, I thought that was Mike Pence. You literally tried to get a mob to hang him.
Administration in the history of our country. Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a big place. This place is...
Wait a minute. Ask a black Australian what a coconut is. Black folk here in Australia kind of did a sideways on the Kamala coconut thing. Wait, why? I don't know anything about, like, Australian culture outside of shimp.
It's packed, and you have more people outside.
And everything's upside down.
Would anybody like to give up their ticket to somebody outside? No? Would anybody like to hand over their gun to Kamala? Is there anybody, one person in this giant, tens of thousands of people, one person would like to hand out their gun?
A coconut is brown on the outside, but white in the middle? Oh, is it like a... Is it used in like a pejorative way? Like it's...
You'd be famous for the rest of your life. That's what she wants. She wants to confiscate your guns, you know that. With your vote, we are going to win Georgia. We are going to defeat Kamala. And we are going to make America great again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I feel like there's probably similar terminology in the United States. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's not something I think about frequently, but I'm sure it exists.
Over the past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon its people. What she has done is...
Racism is dumb as fuck everywhere. True!
It's so bad. She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border, and unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants. I mean, we have migrants pouring in here by the tens.
Man, Kamala Harris had the ability to abolish the border. Based. Socialist Comrade Harris.
Tens of thousands that are criminals from jails, from mental institutions, terrorists. They come from mental institutions.
How do you know that? I said, how do you know that?
And they come from insane asylums, and they come from all around the world, from Venezuela to the Congo. Lots of people coming from the jails of the Congo, stealing countless...
What? They're sending... They're sending people from the jails of the Congo? How? How does no one ever ask him what the fuck he's talking about?
American lives, and they do nothing about it. These are open borders.
Yeah, I think the Congo has like more to deal with right now than I don't think their budget allows them to just fly airplanes of inmates to the United States. I don't think that's, well, I guess they would, the allegation here would be that Congo flies inmates to like Mexico and then releases them to try and cross the border into America. This is like insane nonsense. Like this is like, okay, grandpa, let's get you back in bed type territory. You know, like we're really in completely delusional territory. Also, Datura, dude, thank you for the $10 dono. I very, very much appreciate it. I'm not ready to be forced back into the closet. Well, I don't think you'll have to. So please don't worry too much. I think Kamala Harris is going to win. Again, my very conservative estimate is by over she's going to get over 300 electoral votes. But it is still scary to see him kicking along.
They come in totally unchecked and unvetted. Just days ago, right here in your state, an incredible 25-year-old mom, beautiful mom, named Mimi Rodriguez Ramirez, was kidnapped from a Walmart parking lot that was safe. She was horribly abused and murdered, violently murdered. A week later, her body was dumped on a road. It was found by the police in condition that they said they've never seen anything like that before. The animal who murdered Mimi was an illegal alien who came to Georgia to maim and kill people. It made no difference who they were. Mimi leaves behind a 9-year-old daughter and her absolutely wonderful mother, Carmen. Yesterday, my friend, a very wonderful man and a very patriotic and philanthropic man, said he had the fortune to make a lot of money, and he gives a lot of his money away. He's just very amazing. In fact, he made contributions to Georgia with your hurricane problems, and he made tremendous contributions to North Carolina, Alabama.
Man, he sounds like he's falling asleep, man.
Think of all these states, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida. What a horrible thing that was. But my friend's name is Steve.
What a horrible thing
he reached
that
out
was.
to Carmen when he heard about it. And I'd like to ask Steve, he doesn't know I'm going to do this, and he may not want to speak in front of 40,000 people because I don't know if he's ever done it before. But Steve is just this incredible guy, and if it's okay with you, Steve, I'd love to have you come up and say some wonderful things about Mimi and Carmen and that incredible family that's been decimated. Steve Witkoff.
Steve who? Steve Witko?
Hello, everyone. The president is a lifelong friend of mine, and he is one of the best men I have ever known.
Rad Undercliff, fighting the forces of fascism and protecting the American way.
Man, I want to learn more about the exploits of Rad Undercliff, Antifa super soldier.
It's the club of
I think he's the person we should be paying attention to right now, not this guy.
There was one person who supported me unconditionally. That was President Trump and his wife, Melania.
Steve, you all know Steve from Minecraft.
I told the president
This
that
is
my
that
son
Steve.
Andrew leads me to others who have been in distress. Several days ago, that happened again. As a member of this audience, Josh McCoon, who you heard earlier, was a great guy, told me about a Georgia woman, Mimi, who had been murdered. I told the president the circumstances, and he was shaken. He asked me what we could do about it and told me to reach out to the family and do whatever we could. I flew to their home tonight to pick them up and bring them here, and they are here tonight.
It's always so weird how Donald Trump just kind of looms over the shoulder of like whoever's talking.
Distraught and sad, but I believe uplifted, and they are Trumpers and have voted for him in this election, all of them.
Man, I love how he's trying to tell this really heartfelt story, but right behind him is garbage for Trump. You know, like, you guys are really not doing yourselves any favors here, folks.
Because they remain hopeful, as they told me earlier, that even after this terrible tragedy, this president, when he becomes president on Tuesday, can bring us out from the abyss. Let me tell you briefly about Mimi's family. They are hardworking, from Puerto Rico, living in Georgia, making a home for themselves. They never imagined.
Yeah, they're really trying. They're really trying to heal the damage done by that comedy set, but I don't think they're gonna be able to do it. I think the mask is off. Can't put it back on.
Imagine their beautiful daughter would be killed by someone who did not belong in this country. On your behalf, Mr. President, we have raised their family money and we have given it to them tonight. And we will watch after them in the future. I can promise you that at your direction. Carmen, please come up to meet the next President of the United States.
Ms. Genderlin, I'm sorry we watched too many spooky movies the other day. Hopefully you're feeling better today.
My name is Carmen Ramirez. I'm the mother of Minelli Zoe Rodriguez Ramirez. She was murdered the last Tuesday. I lose my daughter, but I don't lose my faith. And
I know that everyone grieves differently, but I think that if I had a daughter and she was murdered less than a week ago, I don't think I would go to a Trump rally to talk about my grief with everyone. That would be like a task completely alien to my ability.
And I know Donald Trump is the best choice for the USA. And not the best choice. He's the only one we need to save our country. I just want to let you know that everybody have to go and vote. Because just for talking and don't vote, we don't do nothing. Take your friends. friends, take your children, 18 years old. Everybody have to vote.
Critical support for that lady's single sentence right there. Critical support. She's correct. Everyone you know, get them to vote.
Because that's the only way we're gonna save us country. Okay? And I want to let you know that Donald Trump is not a choice. It's just the number one.
What? Also, Jedi Master Abby, I did indeed. Good morning.
And Jesus let me come over here today to let you know that I have a 25 years daughter with a lot of life. And somebody stopped her life. And we have to stop with this and keep going with Donald Trump. I meet Donald Trump in person. He's the most wonderful person that I see.
What?
That I know right now. He help us. He be with us.
He's the most wonderful person you know right now? What about your 3 family members there?
All the time as this happen. And he always be there for my family. That's why we always gotta be for him all the time.
I don't think that Donald Trump gave her money. That would require him giving her money.
Thank you for everything. Thank you, and don't forget to go and vote. God bless America. Please make America great again.
Oh, they raised money for the family? There you go.
Wow, what a job. What beautiful words. Can you imagine? I don't think it's her first language, and she spoke better than any person whose language is that particular language. That was incredible. Wow.
Oh boy.
And I can tell you, Carmen, that Mimi is looking down on you right now, and she is so proud. She's up there in the beautiful sky, well beyond the clouds, and she is so proud of you. What a job you did. Well,
This might be one of the worst things I've ever seen Donald Trump do. Putting words into the mouth of the dead daughter of a family who, and that daughter was murdered less than a week ago? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is like I cannot describe kind of the roiling disgust I have in my core when I see him do this.
it's not easy either. Can you imagine? Through the grief to do something like that. And we are so sorry for your loss. It's unbelievable. We're going to get that stopped. We're going to stop it. This is happening every day. Soon it'll be every hour. It's just, we're going to stop it. We hold Mimi in our hearts forever. And we'll be your friend, Carmen. We'll be your friend and your family's friend. Thank you. Thank you very much. These terrible atrocities against our citizens are happening every single day in cities and towns all across America. I want you to hear directly from another mom, great mom also, wonderful woman who I met just a week ago, Border Patrol gave me this incredible endorsement. They said he's the greatest president in the history of our country. I said, does that include Lincoln, Washington? And yes, sir. But then I told the story, but then one of the guys got up and he's 37 years old. He said, he's the greatest president in my lifetime. I didn't like that. He's 37 years. I like the other one much better. The greatest ever. No, the Border Patrol is great. They're incredible people, and they gave us a full-throated endorsement. And they have every year, frankly. They always endorse me, and they're incredible patriots. Them and ICE and law enforcement and our sheriffs. Our sheriffs are great. Police all over the country. They are really respected by everybody, but they don't understand because they don't get treated properly. And we're going to treat them properly, and they're going to solve our crime problem very easily. It's what they want to do. They're dying, you know what, they're dying to do it. They watch these stores being robbed, guys walking out with refrigerators, 500 thugs going into a department store,
What are you talking about, man?
cleaning it out, some of them with refrigerators on their back. And they want to do something, but they're told to stand down, don't even think about it. You'll lose your pension, you'll lose your house, you'll lose all your money, you'll lose your family. And we're going to free them up to stop the crime in our cities and stop the crime in our country.
I mean, guys, this is like his final pitch, you know? Like, this is what he's got. This is the juice he has left. Compare it to Kamala Harris's tight, like 20-minute closing argument speech where she like listed what she was going to do for everyone, like what policies she supported. All he has offered so far in a roughly the same amount of time is be afraid of like brown people coming into the country. Like, that's it. That's it. Be afraid. Be afraid. Be afraid. This is his last rally. No, it's not his last rally. There's probably going to be one or two more like today. But this is close enough to be his final closing arguments. This is what he has to offer people as like his final day before the election.
And
that's all he's got.
I have to say, you know, somebody said, well, how would you do this? Because obviously we have to deport these murderers and drug dealers and terrorists. We have terrorists coming into our country at levels we've never seen before. You know, in 19, if you look at the numbers issued by the Border Patrol, in 2019, a Trump year, and I don't even agree with these numbers. They said I had 0 terrorists. Oh, by the way, bring down that board, please. Just my favorite board in the whole world. My favorite board in the whole world.
What?
I assume it's up there. Is it up there, Mike? So, I love that.
Oh my God, it's like he just brought on a celebrity guest.
Chart. I love that graph. I sleep with it every night. I hold it tight. But it saved me, because if I didn't make that sharp turn to the right to look at it, I would not be with you tonight.
Incredible way to try and like shoehorn your assassination into every single Trump rally. But also like, yeah, could you think of anything that happened in, you know, 2019 to 2020 and into 2021 that may have contributed to a precipitous drop in immigration, both documented and undocumented? Because I can think of a once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic that might have something to do with it.
Right. So if you look at the arrow on the bottom, that was my last day.
True, young black economist. True.
And after I left, all they had to do was leave it the way it was, remain in Mexico. You think it was easy to get Mexico to say, oh, sure. They said no. They laughed at me when I first proposed it. And within about 10 minutes, they were saying, we would love to do it, sir. I said, I'm going to put tariffs on every car and everything you send into the United States if you don't do it.
You know he's lying about this, right? He's like, America's economy would collapse if we put tariffs on everything that Mexico sends to the US. My God. Think we're gonna have to dip? I mean, it makes sense. It's fair. See you, Salmon Moose.
And they not only that, they gave us thousands.
Yeah, Trump
tens of
would do
thousands
that.
of soldiers
Just go
free
to a
of
rally
charge,
and tell a
everything
lie.
free. I wanted it free. And tremendous crime is coming through. But that was in 2019. They said we allowed 0 terrorists. It had terrorists 0. And it was good. But I think it has to be a little bit. But the following year, it was 16 or 19 terrorists. Now it's thousands.
Elf Zeppo, no, I don't think Mexico makes the most of the microchips these days. Taiwan makes most of the microchips.
Thousands of terrorists are coming from the Middle East and all over the world. Some of the worst in the world. We know the names. We have no idea where they are. But our local law enforcement does, you know. People say, well, how are you going to ever find? Our local sheriffs and law enforcement people are incredible, and they're dying to do the job. And they know their middle names. They know their addresses, where they come from. They know everything, and they're going to help us. And we're going to have the largest deportation of criminals in history. But I want you to hear directly from another incredible mother whose world has been shattered just recently also because Kamala let savage, illegal alien murders into our country through the open border. She has an open border, unvetted, unchecked, an open border. Please.
Okay. I think we have actually seen exactly what Trump has here. You know, like, I think we've seen enough. Like, this is just going to be the major thing. All he's going to talk about in this entire speech is evil, criminal brown people are coming into the United States. And they're coming for your children. That's it. That's ultimately all that's going to be, all that this is going to be. It's going to be story after story about, like, undocumented immigrants doing a crime. And, like, you can share as many of those stories as you want, but, like, the data does not demonstrate that undocumented immigrants are a huge threat to America. They are less prone to crime than, like, people born in the United States, native-born people in the U.S. So, like, it is just lies. It is racist, xenophobic lies. And that's all he has. There are literally no policies he has that would benefit any person in America economically, except for the ultra wealthy of America. Okay? The same way his $1 trillion tax cut permanently benefited the wealthiest people in the country and only temporarily benefited, like, the middle and working class to a much less degree. And all of those provisions sunset this year. So, like, it is just lie upon lie upon lie.
In an alternate dimension, Rad Undercliffe fights dictator Trump and the evil forces of fascism.
Catalina Gearbox, thank you for the $5 dono. I do not think the immigration status of the man that is suspected in the murder is known. They are just going on the rumor that he's not here legally. And that's the thing. It doesn't even matter if they're right or if they're wrong. They would say it either way, because ultimately, like, the thing that matters to them is that he's brown, that he's not white, you know? That's what matters to them at the end of the day, because they're racists, you know? Don't people start walking out at the end? I mean, I'm pretty sure at the 20-minute mark, people start walking out. But, like, I don't know. This is another hour. There's another hour of this, but I don't think we need to watch it because I think it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over again. It's all he has. The fundamental like message he has for the American people. Yeah, there's an hour and 6 minutes left of this. And if we watch all of it, it's just gonna be this. It's just gonna be this. Over and over and over again. Scary immigrant does crime. That's it. We will be Sisyphus. We don't have to be. We can just be like, no, we're good. That boulder going to the bottom of the hill. We're going to take a lunch break. So ultimately, what we have here is Donald Trump's final proposition to the American people. He will not improve your life in any way. He will only do insane, horrible, bigoted plans to discriminate against minorities, and that's it. He'll spin it as that helping you in some way, but it won't. You will get no tangible benefit from any of that, and your life will continue to be hollow and miserable as this cult leader continues to essentially strip all wealth and liberty from you until there's nothing left. That's what you have. That's the prospect. On the one hand, you have Kamala Harris, someone who is better than Biden in basically every single category. Does that mean she's good enough? No, but she's bringing some improvement to the country on some level. Or Donald Trump, somebody who will implement a Holocaust-like system to put, undocumented folks into camps, and honestly, probably also documented Latinos into camps. And, where it goes from there, I think history has shown. And that's really the only thing he's bringing to the table. 20 million people in concentration camps. That's what he's bringing. So I guess you have to weigh that in the election booth. Yeah, you can't sit this election out. It's too important. Gotta weigh that. Go vote. And please, for the love of God, let it be Kamala Harris, because otherwise, the United States falls to fascism, and we do exactly what fascists always do, which is destroy the country until everything's on fire and a lot of people are dead. So, please go vote.